Hello there, Ernestine. Hello there, MMXW. How are you? Hopefully you can hear me. Can you hear me all right? Okay, great. Good evening, everyone. Hello there, MMXW. How are you? Thank you so much, MMXW. How are you? We are going to be talking about the narcissist stare. MMXW, have you had that black eyed stare at you, either from your father or someone you know? How many of you have had the narcissist? Er- Uh, Ernestine says, yeah. Ernestine, when you saw that stare, how did it make you feel? How did it make you feel when you saw that stare? She said, I seen it with my ex. His eyes were pitch black. Yep, that's it. She said, Ernestine said, I was scared. She said, staring and squinting. Yes. Hello there, Miss Weeks. She said they were staring and squinting. It's like a demonic spirit looking over his body. You know what? That's exactly how you feel. And you can even feel the evilness of the stare and the hatred that's in their eyes. I think of that. The most recognizable thing is what you feel when you can sense all of that hatred in their eyes just from a stare. And this is from someone who say they care for you, but the stare lets you know they don't really care, because that stare looking in their eyes let you know it's a hateful, deadly stare, almost like it pierces your being. It's so evil. So how did you handle that? She said, my dad looks at my kids like that. Ooh, that's terrible. This week's, that is no good. So what do you do about that? Do you constantly take them around your dad, or does your dad live with you? She said, I felt pure evil. He was upset because I wouldn't let him control me at all. Oh, yeah, they would, because that's what they have to have. They have to have that control, because other than that, you minimize them. And remember, they got all this grandiosity going on. They're the best thing since sliced bread. So for you to put them in their place, that's a narcissistic injury. You caused the injury, MMW. So, Miss Weeks, do you live with your father, or do you take your children around your father? Because that narcissistic stare is is not good. And just think, if they're looking in his eyes at the moment he's doing that, they can sense that hatred. They can sense it. And what do a child do when they sense that much hatred from someone who's supposed to love them, someone supposed to care for them? They don't know what to do with that. She said, some people at church noticed, and on I was only allowing them to go to church with them. I would not do that. I wouldn't even do that. Because if you ever saw and look in the eyes of a narcissist, when he has that demonic stare, it is pure evil. It almost like it penetrates your being, and it throws you off because you ain't never seen anything like that. She said, I used to live with them. Okay, so you don't live with them now? So are your children living with you and not with your dad? And what do you think about that? When your children saw those black eyes and Do they ever talk about it? Did they ever mention it? MMXW say it was very dangerous for children to be around a narcissist because sometimes they may even learn to hate themselves sadly. That is the truth. And that evil look make them think they did something wrong. She said, thought it was safe at church. No, baby. It's never safe. It's never safe. That's why the people at church told you they saw it. And the way he looked at them. Well, why would he look at them if he had good for them? She said, they live with me. Good girl. Absolutely. So after you heard that they saw the narcissistic stare, uh, do you still let them go to church with them? Or how do you think about, what do you think about that? What do you think about that? Miss Weeks, what do you think about that? Ernestine said, amen. Yeah, it's not safe. It's not safe. If the look toward your children is not a look of love, it's never safe. But he is kind sometimes. Of course he is. Miss Weeks, being kind does not compensate for the way he look at your children. Because if he's kind, why would he look at them like that? Have you ever questioned that? You definitely don't want to, I can't make the decision for you, but you have to decide for yourself. But I definitely wouldn't put my children in the Shark Tank, because if you looked at my child with hatred, I don't care how much I think you're good with them. I think the root would be hatred. The youngest cannot go with them. No, I wouldn't let any of them go with them. It's like MMXW say, they can even hate themselves, because if they look at you with hatred, it'll make you feel devalued. And they'll think something wrong with them. He's my mother's husband. Oh my God. Miss Weeks, are you listening to us? So now what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Because if someone is telling you he's looking at them like that, what do you think they're thinking? What do you think they're seeing? She said, the kids, this one, are such wonderful people. The kids, this are such wonderful people. Who's wonderful people? Okay, Miss Wish, you lost me. She said, they treat us awful. If they treat you awful, why would you let your kids go? She said, they cause, what cause a painting behind you? Oh, we're not even talking about that right now. Miss Weeks, so now what do you think? If they treat you awful, why would you allow your kids to go to someone who treats you awful? They're an extension of you. The kids think grandparents are wonderful people. He's a minister. They're spiritual narcissists. They go where the people are because they need constant praise. They need constant validation. So they go where they can get it. You got narcissists in the pulpit. You got narcissists in leadership. You can have narcissists anywhere. They are everywhere. In homes, in churches, working in the leadership department for the country. She said, my brothers think they would treat their grandchildren better. What do you think? Not what they think. See, you're telling me something that's in your heart. What do you think? What do you think? Because those are your children. At the end of the day, the children is going to validate you for protecting them or think you didn't protect them. No, they won't. Yeah, MMSW said, no, they're not going to treat your children better. A narcissist is a narcissist. It's just like if a person was a thief, but the thief was nice to you, but you know they have a history of stealing, would you trust them in your house? Would you trust them in your house? Or would you protect your house because you know their habit is more than their temporary sanctions? We'd say they do things for the grandchildren so much better. I really think it's fake, and they do it to play in our face. Okay, but Weeks, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Because what you just telling me, you're sensing something, feeling something, knowing something, but you're going against what you know. Because what appears to be, you want it to be real, but deep in your heart, Miss Weeks, what do you feel deep inside? Miss Weeks, I still hope you stay on. Don't go away because you don't want to deal with that. We don't want your kids to get hurt. We don't want anything to happen to them or you, because somebody is just like a man. Would you date a man that is offered to your kids but good to you? Would you date that guy? No, because you're going to be good to my kids and me because they're an extension of me, right? She said the 16 and 17-year-old only go over there. Miss Weeks, okay. Hopefully the kids won't need therapy because something may be wrong. And hopefully, are they a boy and a girl, or they're two girls or two boys? It's sometime who wasn't related. Look at your children like that. You will want the kids around that person. Absolutely. Glorious Desert Rain says, if someone who wasn't related looked at your children like that, would you want the kids around them? No, I would not. I would not personally, no matter what age they are, because you can hurt them or do something derogatory to them. Hey, Tanisha. And narcissists, especially coverts, are very charming. They are, and psychopaths, they are very charming. I tell children where they were unkind to us, and they tell me I'm trauma dumping on them. Okay, it's already started. Hello there, Tanisha. How are you? She said, it is natural to want a parent to be loving and caring, but when they are narcissistic, they just cause more harm than anything. Absolutely. They're two girls. Oh my God. This is Weeks. I think you better grab a hold to that. If not, I need you to remember this night with us talking. I wouldn't trust that because you can groom what you want. You can groom them. But in your belly, in your deep gut, that's where you have to go. Doesn't matter what you see with your eyes. Your gut is going to tell you something is wrong. They may not see it because when you're being groomed, you usually don't see it. And you don't see it until the groomer step out and think they got you. Then they manifest. Then it gets crazy. If he treat the kids bad, but you good, that's a plot to turn you against the children. No, they treat her bad, but they treat the children good. She said, I won't leave my son, biological dad. Okay. Mrs. Weeks, I will advise you to go back and just listening to some of my videos. And I want you to look at the aging narcissist. because the aging narcissist is the worst one. Please go back and listen to those videos, because you may be saving your children from future trauma. Because if something happened and they don't feel the freedom to talk to you,
everyone is frying flour after.
They don't feel the freedom to talk to you, they're not going to talk to you. Because if they make them feel shame, they feel shame telling you what had happened to them. She said, age doesn't matter. My mother abused her 70-year-old brother. A narcissist will abuse anyone. Teenagers, 20, any age. Yeah. Vanessa said, oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Mrs. Weeks, I wish you would listen. I will. Tell me what you feel. Deep down on the inside of you, Miss Weeks, what you feel. She said, they try to turn my kids against me, which is why I put distance between us. They're trying to make them flying monkeys. If they make them flying monkeys, they're going to go to the side of the narcissist. And just think, narcissists can get away with whatever, as long as you keep quiet, as long as you don't tell anyone. And if you don't tell anyone, nobody will know. Then a lot of things can happen. And she has learned silence. She's learned to be quiet. She's learned to be silent. And you got 2 girls. He's grooming the girls. Because why would he be mean to you and nice to them? What would be the reason for that? What is your intentions? And see, if you say the kids, he's trying to turn the kids against you, he may do it. Because if he make them flying monkey and he make them make it seem like something wrong with you, that you're trying to stop them, you're trying to hinder them, and they go to his side, you're going to have a hard time pulling those kids back. Because they're 17 and 18, they don't have to stay, they can actually leave. She said, well versed. He's plotting against her, trying to turn them kids against her. Time to go. Yep. She said, I feel like I got a handle on it. All righty. All righty. Miss Weeks, I feel very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. I've dealt with over 10,000 cases. And I've been doing this for years. And I'm telling you, that's not the outcome. They are being groomed to be flying monkeys. They're going to tell all the stuff that go on in your house. And a lot of times it's going to be negative, because he's going to turn something good to negativity, because he can't win them positively. He has to win them with negative energy. And that negative energy is going to cause them to be flying monkeys. She said when the narcissists do that, that means that they want her kids to believe that something is wrong with her, that she's the problem. Yep, both of my parents tried to turn me against each other. Absolutely. She said they already turned my 22-year-old against me. I left my narc husband when our son was 10 years old, because I knew he would try and turn him against me. He would. They need that. And especially in the court of law, they will make it seem like something wrong with you, so they can get the kids if they're underage. Because at a certain age, the child especially when a child can't fend for themselves, and then they're constantly putting in their ears, something is wrong with your mom. I agree. He wants to turn them against you. She said, yeah. So you have to be careful. If your 22-year-old is already turned. He's working on the 17 and the 16-year-old. He's 15 now, and he's a straight A student and doing very well. Wow, that is really good. Nothing bad going on here. No men, no dysfunction. Okay. All right, if you got it, you got it. We're just telling you the cases we dealt with. And if they're true narcissists, we're not talking about just a toxic person. Toxic person can change. They got emotions. They got compassion. A narcissist lack true compassion. And they will hurt and see nothing wrong with it. And they will blame the victim for them hurting them. But if you got it under control, you got it under control. So we can move on then. But I'm telling you, you probably need to put a microscope with that. Ms. Week, I still want counseling. I think you should have it. I think you should have counseling. And I want to recommend that. I want to recommend Dr. Carmen Bryan. You can go online. She is overcoming narcissist abuse. She is a licensed therapist, but she's not just a licensed therapist. She's a trauma therapist specialist. She's a trauma therapist specialist. You can go online to Dr. Carmen Bryan, and you can put in the comment section, give me your email, and she will email you. Hello there, Helen Marie, how are you? She said, I've talked to her. Oh, you have? And what was the conclusion? Because she's one of the best therapists now. She is top side. If you get her, she's one of the best. She's top. She's in your top 10. So how did it turn out? Ms. Wheat said, in the beginning, but so much that has transpired. Okay. But she's still there. And she knows your case. She said, I've never gone to counseling, but I've healed and set free from the scheming demon. I do listen to everyone you've mentioned. Good. That's why you're free. You got it in your mind. Your mind is strong. She said, yeah, it was great. Okay, but that means you can go back. When things happen, it's not over. You can go back to her. You can continue your session, because healing you is healing the kids. Especially you got the 21, 22-year-old. He already got them. And he working on the 16 and the 17-year-old. After a while, you're only going to have the one that don't go near him, and that's the baby. They still try to cross my boundaries. Oh, he want them to. He want them to. Is there in a way, do you take them to their granddad, or do they go on their own? Are they driving, or do you have to take them there? Miss Weeks, are they driving, or do you take them there? And then teenagers, they're going to cross boundaries, but you know when there's a push behind them, when there's a different voice, because there's a different energy, there's a different strength. She said, they see promise in my kids, and they want credit. Of course, they're going to take all the credit. They don't drive. Then you have to take them. Don't take them. Don't take them over there. Get them busy. Get them going. Get them doing. Teenagers like activity. Get them busy. Get them with friends that you trust. Only family events. Okay. Okay. But Miss Weeks, you have to watch your family events. You don't have such good family. Not with good intent. What do you feel? Do you feel obligated to be around your family? I mean, you love your mom. You're going to honor your mom. You do what you can for your mom. but you got to maximize the safety with your kids. She said, and it's a mess every time. Should I say more? Should I say more? Vanessa said, I try to tell my son that his dad is a covert narcissist, but he asks, what is a narcissist? And I say, you need to learn all you can about a narcissist because that demon is in your bloodline. Vanessa, be careful how you talk. Your son is 15, because if there was ever a court situation and you say that, they won't take it lightly to that kind of persuasion. So what you may do is do suggestions and then have him listen to videos and tapes and then ask him what he think about that. Ask him, do he see it in the familiar traits? Ask him, do those traits make him comfortable? Ask him what those traits stir up. Ask him how he feels around his dad, about his dad. If you don't like going around him, ask him why you think you don't like going around him. Could it be, and you show him a video with the traits, could it be some of these traits are present? And then he said, well, I noticed. Then let him talk about what he noticed. And then ask him what he thinks. Let it come out of his mouth. It's not something you have persuaded or thrown on him. And then the court, if you ever have to go to court, that can never be said. Because a narcissist does not play fair. You know that. But if you're free, you're liberated, he don't have to go around his dad because you don't have do you have a parenting plan in place, or can you just be with him because the narcissist really don't care? Vanessa. Kendra. She said, I've tried to have him listen to videos, but he won't. His dad is in another state, thank God. Well, okay. Then you just continue to pray for your son. You continue to trust God for your son. You continue to believe that God will keep him, God will strengthen him. And if he ain't talking about his dad, he ever missed his dad, I wouldn't even miss him. I wouldn't even mention him because his dad ain't tried to see him, ain't tried to come near him. So you're in a safety factor. And especially if his dad hadn't even tried to contact him. I would thank God for every moment of liberation. Because the narcissist cannot. They cannot be trusted. She said he don't miss him, but he talks to him on the phone. Oh, okay. But at least you're there to safeguard the relationship. And then he don't come see him, and you don't have a parenting plan, so he's not insistent upon him coming and spending time with him without you. And that's a good thing. So God is giving you freedom. God is giving you liberty. We're going to keep thanking God for the liberty and the freedom you have. Ernestine said yes and amen. Wow. Miss Weeks, are you there? Are you there? Thank God. Oh, I'm thanking God with you too. Because God really has given you a freedom. And as long as he talked to him and gone about his business, that's fine with you. Still here. Okay. So, plus to be free, Karen. Aloha. I am glad you are on. If you get a chance, just go back and look at the conversation. I want you to pay special attention. This is Karen. She is a life coach that deals with and specializes with narcissist relationship. If you will go back and look over the conversation we had with Miss Weeks, and then you'll be updated with the conversation piece. She said some things that made me a little uncomfortable in her situation, but I think she said that she has to take the kids, so She just don't bring the kids. She said she bring them to only family function. She said it's always a mess. Okay, good. Because Miss Weeks, do you feel obligated to go to family functions, or do you feel so isolated that you feel like you need your family? Do you have a peer group or friends that you can talk to, Miss Weeks? Or are you by yourself? You feel like you by yourself. What about family other than them? Your siblings? What about them? Because you're going to need some support. You're going to need some support. So what about your family? Do you think you can trust your family? And is the narcissist close to your family? Or do your family like them? Those are very important questions, because a lot of families can't stand the narcissist can't stand the family. Then you know they're not a flying monkey. Yeah, Ernestine said she's praying. You know they're not a flying monkey. And when you know that the family is close to him, I wouldn't trust any information to my family as a possibility they may be his flying monkeys. She said, no, I told my aunt that their sister is acting funny toward me. And of course, that was their sister. Yeah. Then you know what we need? We need for you to make friends outside of that group. Go out. Go to games. Go to different events. Take your children and meet people other than family. Because when the family becomes flying monkeys, there's no safety factor there. You can't trust that a mile away. You cannot, not even up close. Because the narcissists sometimes have tremendous influence, and especially the covert and the psychopath. They can be just as sweet as they want to be, but they're malignant. She said, so my mother threw my special needs daughter a birthday party this past Saturday. So was obligated to go. Okay. Do your mother know the way you feel about how the dad looks at the child? Do your mother know? And how is the strength of your mother in the relationship? Do he dominate? Is he nice to your mother? Is he kind to your mother? Wow. I know Eminem has a lot of practice with this. She said, seems like every time I interact with her, I need 10 sessions of therapy. Oh my God. Girl, I would advise you to take different measures. I would advise you to put more distance, mom or no mom. You just respect your mom, love your mama, but when you're not checking on her, you just make that a no contact zone, because it's not good. It's not even evidence of good coming out. My mother is a submissive Christian woman. All right. There you go. There you go. That's the answer. She said, Miss Weeks, there is too much toxicity going on, and parental alienation already happened. You can't fix this. Situation is not safe. That's what I say. I don't feel comfortable with this situation. And if I was a therapist, I would advise you to busy yourself in another direction. Make sure your mom's fine. If she needs anything, take it to her. But I would keep my kids out of that zone, because like Karen said, there is parent alienation. They are advising them against you, and they don't have anything positive to say. And that's a special needs child with that man. Come on, Miss Weeks. No, no, you can't feel comfortable with that. I want to let them out of my sight, not for a moment. She said, I make another appointment with Dr. Carmen. Yes, please do. Miss Weeks, the priority is to get some counseling going on with the other two before they turn 18. She was with Dr. Brian. Karen, she's going to reconnect. She's going to reconnect. She said when she connected with Dr. Brian, the counseling was great. And she disconnects, so she's going to reconnect. She said, I don't want to leave her alone with either one of them. I don't blame you. Because can she effectively communicate her needs, her hurts, her pains? Can she effectively communicate as a special needs child? Miss Weeks. MMXW, are you still on? She went silent on me. She was very vocal. Then she went, Miss Weeks, she speaks well. Good. Train her to communicate. Teach her to communicate. Make it a priority. Talk to mama. I would not leave her alone, not for a minute with him. Because narcissists have a spirit of persuasion. It's almost like they mesmerize their people. Amir. Thank you. Well, Miss Weeks, what do you think about our conversation thus far? We have talked about what is going on. We have talked about the children. We have talked about even what the people at church say. Kendra says, especially the covert narcissist, but she said it's going well. Okay. She said, Miss Weeks, sounds like she could be the curse breaker in her family. She could be. I agree. She said, sorry about the mother. She said, but this father figure is not safe. The special needs child should not be there. Agree with the time. It is right to consider no contact. Too much damage can be done. She knows, Miss Weeks, she was in it for 33 years. How can I contact you, Pastor? My situation is very extreme and I want to share, but I have to be very wise and careful. He's highly intelligent. Oh, he is a cerebral covert computer genius. 20 years married. Okay. You can write me at Destiny Helper 12s at gmail.com. Destiny Helper 12s at gmail.com. And get in contact with me. She said people on church may not be as safe as you think. There are unusual flying monkeys. They're usual flying monkeys. There usually are, because a covert, I'm telling you, a covert and a sociopath, they are your most charming. They are charming people. Miss Weeks said, I try to set boundaries and stay in my lane, and she keeps resurfacing. Because intent is powerful. Just like perception is powerful. Perception can replace truth when it's that powerful. That's my email, destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. So you can get in contact with me, Vanessa. Miss Weeks said she makes masks and then wants to help fix it. She make a mess and then want to help fix it. She don't want to fix it. She wants the attention. Because a narcissist has tremendous problem with grandiosity and entitlements. And when she make the mess, she's not going to take the responsibility for it. They're going to blame other people. Well, if she had not said, if she had not did, if you would have said, if you would have done, it would never be her fault. And the narcissist husband makes sure it's her fault. He's going to blame her for everything. And what she do, blame other people. Thank you, Pastor. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. I look forward to hearing from you. You see what I mean? And Karen says, the mere fact that you are having to set boundaries means the situation is already unhealthy. Absolutely. Absolutely. And they don't respect boundaries. So if you think that's going to work, the narcissists don't respect boundaries. They cross boundaries because they don't feel like they have to subject themselves to them. No, she doesn't take responsibility. She's never going to. Never. It's going to always be your fault. It's going to always be something you've done, something you've said. Always. She said, too often we are afraid to leave a church. Yeah, that's true. Because you think that God is going to punish you, but you are being punished under leadership that is not strong enough to manage the responsibility of leading those sheep. If the narcissist got the ear of the leader and you can see the influence of the narcissist with the leader, you should not be at that church. That is not your church. You got to get another church. And especially when your family's there and you're already having problems with the kids like that. I wouldn't stay for your safety and theirs. Look where your mind is in this situation. You're already trouble. You're already trouble. They don't respect boundaries. They do what they want in spite of what you've asked. You ask them to do this, they don't do it because they don't feel like they have to. And if they don't do this, the negative words that your children are hearing is crazy. You are their safety factor. You are what they got to protect them. And if you don't, they won't. Because if you think the narcissist is looking out for the good of your children, you got another thing coming. And the mother is so submissive until she probably believes what he's doing is right, even if he do wrong. Because the church tell them God hate divorce. So she feel obligated to yield no matter what he does. See, Ernestine said, amen again. See? And the thing is, once we raise our children up, we don't know the damage until they start to communicate. And they usually, when they get out on their own and they're having problems, then one day they decide to talk to you. This is because, and then you realize, I should have done something, but I didn't. Plus, to be free, Karen said, it is better to be somewhere else. The church people are already part of the smear campaign against you. The trauma dumping remark means they are all ready to separate you from your kids. Wow. This is amazing. What do you think about what we're saying, Miss Weeks? What are your thoughts at what we're saying? What do you see into the conversation piece that we're having right now? Where do you see yourself? Do you think you need to be more aggressive in your doing? Or do you think everything is all right? Like you said, you got it under control. What do you think, Mrs. Weeks? Wow. Because she says, Mrs. Weeks says, we kids don't speak to them. So the act, so they act kind to my girls. They see promise in them. They're going to be nurses and want that good relationship. Miss Weeks, you got to be wiser than what they pretend to be, because being a pretend doesn't make any reality to anything. It just means that they're succumbing to hypocritical ways, and that you're going to have to deal with it. Because if they're not speaking positive of you, everything that's negative, they will turn your children against you. You said the 22-year-old has already they already turned him against you or her against you. Then here come these two girls. They would turn them against you, especially when you know they're not positive. And then every time you get around them, there's nothing positive coming out. She said, I feel the 16 and 17-year-old are going to be busy this year. I would make them busy and keep them away. Talk to your mom if she needs something. If she don't make it a visit. Because all you're going to do is come out with more hurt, come out with more pain. And if she disrespect you because she dishonoring you, all you're going to do is come out with more pain. You're going to come out with more hurt. Because that's all they have. Because that's what's in her. What's in her is what's coming out from her. And it's a lot of negativity. Miss Weeks said, yes, I stay away. Good girl. And we call that NC, or no contact. Now, no contact is not on the premises of temporary involvement. It's just what it say. No contact. And if your mom is old and you feel a little bit uncomfortable with that, just make a call every now and then. As long as your mom is fine. But your job right now is to protect those girls. Your job now is to make sure they are safe. That's your job. To keep your girls safe. She said everyone's soul gets destroyed around them, sadly. Everyone. Thank you, Eminem. I was wondering where you was, MMSW. It does. Because their darkness, they destroy. Miss Weeks, they want caregivers. Yep, they do. And because they need attention. And that's what they're going to get out of you, or they're going to disinvolve themselves with you. She said, take control and move on before it's too late. It's supposed to be free caring. Jesus said he came to bring division. Mother against daughter, father against son. She said, I have 1 out of 3 sons. My family part of parental alienation. Because her son was alienated from her. If they can successfully remove the kids, they would. They want you to suffer at the highest level. But if they want you to suffer at the highest level, if they had the kids, what do you think? They will hurt those kids. Emotionally, whether they do it physically or not. But I would not trust the situation. I wouldn't. Because it's already proven himself, like Karen said, to be damnable in its effect. You're not positive. You don't like me and you're going to like my kids. And then you're going to turn my oldest one against me. Why would you trust that? Birthday party or no birthday party. You're not going to die if you don't have a birthday party. You give a birthday party. And you get your kids involved. You get them involved in being around people. You get them involved in having other relationships. Okay, y'all. We got 5 minutes. She said at the party, they were talking about vacation, and I was not included. And they made mention of my two younger, my my younger two. Mm-mm. Why you tolerate that? Miss Week, why are you tolerating that? Because it's obviously they don't respect your presence. So why do you tolerate that? Why? You got a lot of evidence. And see, Karen is hitting it on the head. Karen, she hit it. Miss Weeks, Karen hit it. She said, I'm never included. Okay, but you tolerate it. That's why they keep doing it. You are passive and they keep doing it. You can't overlook this. Miss Weeks, I think you need to be a little more aggressive in your stand, and don't be guilty when you stay away from them. You're not doing anything wrong. But if you listen to religious people, they will make you think that God wants you to suffer, God wants you in pain. She said, I don't overlook it. That's a lot of time with your kids for somebody who will hurt them, somebody who will dismiss them, somebody who will sit and talk about their parents to them in a negative way. She said, 2 sons were alienated against me. Have my oldest only. Believe in prayer for the other 2. Please go no contact. They know they can't get away with abusing you and smear campaign. Time to leave. Ms. Weeks said, I'm aware, but trying to be respectful. You can be respectful without being there. Because you're going to end up saying something, doing something because of what they're doing. You're not being disrespectful. You're being protective of your kids. You have to be protective. Miss Weeks, all I ask is that you go back and listen to the video. Cluster B Free Karen, that girl, Amira. She said, be firm and call out all their lies. They admit to nothing and turn everything around. Yep. It's them. That girl, Amira, that's them. And that's what we're telling you. At the end of the day, you're going to be held as the blame. And they're going to tell you they didn't do anything. All they ever tried to do was to help you. All they ever tried to do was to be nice to you. And you're like, nice when? You are my problem. And they're going to say, we're not your problem. You are the problem. That's why your kids don't want to be with you. And your kids never said that. She said, yes, this is what Dr. Brian and I discussed. Yes, ma'am. And what she told you is right. And you need to consider the alternatives that she gave you. Because they're still valid. Because it's still happening. And your kids are older. So they're able to grasp things deeply. And just think, do you think a grandparent would tell you wrong? They're not thinking that. They're thinking they must be right, especially when they're talking against you. And these are your children. Look, you can write me at destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. She said, Miss Weeks, you can try to be respectful, but you are going to wind up very sorry when you look at the others in the futures. Please listen to us before you wind up crying bitter tears in the end. Yeah. And that's what we don't want you to have. Because we don't see anything positive coming out of this. They're not doing anything positive. Miss Weeks, contact Dr. Brian. And we come on every Wednesday right after Fantabulous Bible study. So around this time, I'll be back on next week. Miss Weeks, I hope that you join me. I look forward to you. And please write me destinyhelper12s at gmail.com. Get in contact with Dr. Brian. The family have not seen them in 2 years. I stay away. Oh, I applaud you tremendously. My parents and sisters turned against me. Wow. I applaud you. I just clap my hands. Keep your kids away and keep them busy. You know that you have parents, they're all right. You keep busy. And you don't feel guilty for anything. You did nothing wrong. You hear me? She said, except that party. Right. You did nothing wrong. Okay. Our time is up here, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on next week. Miss Weeks, I pray that you will be with me. MMXW, it's always a pleasure to see you. Cluster B Free Karen, thank you so much for coming on board. That girl Mira, thank you so much. Vanessa, God bless you, and the rest of you that come on, I really appreciate you. I love you to life. God bless you, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.